For our last segment is another follow-up story. And so this one is a follow-up from the announcement we talked about yesterday. It really is 50 Cent's interview with Good Morning America regarding his documentary on Diddy. Now, the documentary is now currently available. I have not watched this yet. I haven't seen it yet. I started watching a bit of it this morning when I was on set. So maybe I'm 16 minutes in. I think I'm going to take a look at it. But I'm all diddied out. Overall, I'm diddied out. But 50 Cent seems like he has some new things to say. So this is Diddy's response to 50's Diddy doc. Shout out to me. One second applause for that lower third. I was proud of that. Actually, my first editorial I ever did for Hip Hop DX was called 50 More Like Diddy. And it was talking about how 50 Cent was going to shift his career to where he didn't have to rap to have a rep. He wasn't going to be based on the success of his albums. He was going to turn more into a mogul like Jay-Z and Diddy. Well, that's what he ultimately ended up doing. And now when I look at what's happening between 50 and Diddy over the years and where we are now, more than anything else, this looks like two rich dudes who have a vendetta against each other. And that's what we're seeing with this Diddy documentary. One of the things that I got a lot of response for in the comment section yesterday in the video, the clip I put up on the channel today, was people were saying, yo, we've got like 2 different Epstein documentaries. There are 9 mainstream Diddy documentaries right now. There are 9. I greatly question whether we need these, how much we need these. But at the same time, here we are. And so here is what Diddy had to say about 50 Cent's documentary against him. It says, today's Good Morning America teaser confirms that Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. As Netflix and CEO Ted Sarandos know, Mr. Combs has been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story in his own way. Excuse me. It is fundamentally unfair and illegal for Netflix to misappropriate that work. Misappropriate that work. Now, one of the things I was talking about yesterday was how it felt like to me, well, I was wondering, where did 50 get this footage of Diddy? And one of the things that I hypothesized was that Diddy was probably just putting together a documentary on his own, right? Similar to what we saw with the Kanye Genius. Yeah, the Kanye Genius documentary. Well, it looks like that's what he was doing. So they're saying that, Netflix knew what Diddy was doing and knows where this footage came from. And it seems like they have a problem with it. Let's continue. Netflix is plainly desperate to sensationalize every minute of Mr. Combs' life without regard for truth in order to capitalize on a never-ending media frenzy. If Netflix cared about truth or about Mr. Combs' legal rights, it would not be ripping private footage out of context, including conversations with his lawyers that were never intended for public viewing. It is equally staggering that Netflix handed creative control to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, a longtime adversary with a personal vendetta who has spent too much time slandering Mr. Combs. Beyond the legal issues, this is a personal breach of trust. Mr. Combs has long respected Ted Sarandos and admired the legacy of Clarence Avant. For Netflix to give his life story to someone who has publicly attacked him for decades feels like an unnecessary and deeply personal affront. At minimum, he expected fairness from people he respected. Okay, and so that is what Diddy's legal team is saying here. Now, Clarence Avant, that's mentioned here, he is a music industry maven. He is a titan in the space. He passed away a few years ago, but Netflix also put that documentary out as well. So they're using that against Netflix in their commentary. We also have this here. So Diddy has threatened legal action against Netflix and 50 Cent over the release of the new documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, accusing them of airing unauthorized and stolen footage, demanding the film be pulled, and that's via Dateline. So that is the updates that we have on what is happening around this documentary. The Reckoning, I guess is what it's called here. Again, I look at this as, personally, I'm diddied out, right? Like I said, I had a friend of mine call me today and they were asking me, well, what do you think that this means, like, with 50 Cent using this information and bringing up the trauma that's around all of these victims, and how does this make us look as part of the Black community? And I was pretty dismissive to what he said. I'm like, I don't think they care about this. I mean, this is a personal vendetta to me, regardless of what 50 Cent told Robin Roberts on Good Morning America, where he sat there and said that, he didn't like Diddy offering to take him shopping. He didn't like Diddy making it seem like he could control 50, right? I think there's way more to this. We watched, or at least we saw reported, 50's baby mom was part of these freak-offs. She was one of the victims in Diddy's RICO case that ended with him receiving 2 counts of prostitution charges. Is this the Jack Johnson law? I think it's the Jack Johnson law. And so to me, there is some personal vendetta that's in this as well. And as sad as this is, and as personally tacky as it is, I think that this is on par. 50 Cent is not someone who lets up on his enemies. 50 Cent is someone who will position himself as being like, oh, okay, I can't be your friend. Well, at least allow me to be your enemy. And they have been in this posture for a very long time. I think that for all of these things, once again, for all these things that have been happening around Diddy over the past few years, I think a lot of the air came out of this conversation when it looks like he's going to get 4 years in prison, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about that. But when we found out he wasn't a drug kingpin, when we found out that the charges that the state levied against him they didn't have nearly enough information to prove RICO charges. And we found out that he is I don't even want to say when we found out that he is a domestic abuser, he is a manipulator, he is a violent person who, unfortunately, the state couldn't prove past what we had already seen with the traumatic relationship he had with Cassie. Once it turned out that he was a guy who likes freak-offs and into nutty nipples, this whole conversation from a documentary standpoint is, to me, this just feels like there's less interest, generally speaking, than I think that we all expected to have at this point in 2025. Now, it looks like Diddy has, no, excuse me, it looks like 50's got a whole lot of new footage to show. And everybody that I've seen talk about this, everyone that I've seen talk about this is fascinated by the things that they've seen. And again, I watched about 15 minutes of it earlier today when I was on set. And one of the things that they were talking about was apparently Diddy put hands on his mom. And so 50 is calculated, and he is someone who, when he goes in, he goes all in. And so perhaps that this might do a bit more damage to Diddy's reputation. We'll see how this all plays out. I think I will take a look at it, and just so I understand what's happening in the space. But you also have to remember that 50 just launched his production company, his studios in Shreveport, Louisiana. And so he is making a big splash here. So away from what's happening with them, these two on a personal level, this is still a major business opportunity for 50 Cent and his production company. So if you guys have seen this, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. Hit me on social media too. I'll take a look at it, and perhaps I'll do another story if there's something I particularly find of some newsworthiness that I can find in here. I'd rather not revel in the salacious, as you guys, I'm sure, are used to when it comes to this channel. But we shall see. You got to talk about what the people are talking about. But that is all I have on this topic, and as well as all I have on today's episode of The Company Man Show. Episode number 5. Episode number 5. Let me know how we're doing over here. Do you guys like this? Are we getting a good rhythm? Are we getting a good rhythm over here? We've got music. We've got funny shorts. We've got music breakdowns. We've got trending topics. And again, so you guys are aware, again, this is part of a broader strategy. And so I've been putting out different video clips, but for the past year or so, away from things that I do from a breakdown standpoint or away from things that I do from an interview standpoint. And the way that I was recording those was I would sit down for an hour a day and see how many stories I could cover. Sometimes it's one story, sometimes it's 5 stories. But that was really to get me more comfortable with just talking to myself. And I sit here and just talk through stories myself. But also at the same time, it was to get me used to the pattern of just getting up, turning on the camera, going through the editing process, et cetera. And the goal of that was to get to a point where I can do a daily, radio show, talk show, news show, whatever we're talking about, and hold it down for myself so I can do it live. And now we're at that point. So this is episode 4 of that progress. My plan is to do a live on Mondays, Tuesdays. Every Wednesday is going to be Culture United Wednesday. So my goal is to have a panel every Wednesday, whether that is a 4-person panel, whether that's a 6-person panel, we shall see. But the plan is to have a panel every Wednesday, which we'll see tomorrow. And then we'll run clips from Culture United and from the live show on Thursday and Friday. And those 2 days, I'll be able to focus on writing scripted pieces to drop every Saturday. And so you can expect the first one this week. And so, but this is the whole plan. This is the structure. I'm really thankful to everyone who's been rocking with me on this channel, everyone who's joined this channel in the past year, who is, get used to getting their news from me every day, who's also getting used to, me just having plain conversations with people. I'm also really thankful for everyone who's been rocking with me over the years, who knows my origins as someone who writes think pieces. And I'm excited to get back to doing that more often. And I'm also really excited thankful for everyone who enjoys the panels discussions that we put together. I feel like in this space, I'm kind of at the nexus between a lot of things that have been happening on the industry side in rap media, music media, and hip hop media, but also a lot of things that have happened on the independent side. My career started as an independent blogger who got the editor-in-chief job at Brooklyn Bodega, an independent platform that put out the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, which led to me becoming editor-in-chief of Hip Hop DX and getting into the music industry that way, and working with Empire, the record label, and writing for television, and also being at some of the early days of hip hop on YouTube. And so I'm at a point where I have a lot of relationships that are in a lot of different spaces, and there's a lot of people who have met me at different points along this journey. And so I want this to be a hub that offers, the best of those products for everyone who's been supporting me for so long. And I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. Episode 4? Episode 5? I don't know if we need to be counting anymore. But I will be back tomorrow with a Culture United at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. And so you'll see a flyer tonight with everyone who will be on it. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And it's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.